dear. Be patient. Hey guys, welcome back to Alternative Smallholding. It is late Friday evening. Well, say late. It's 7 o'clock. 5 to 7. And we are just going to film our May plot tour. So we're going to walk there. We're going to have fun. And we'll see you in a bit. So here we are at the allotment. It is late evening, like I said. We had a pit stop along the way because we met a lovely gentleman who has the most gorgeous German Shepherd, and we had a little natter, but now it's time for a tour. So let's start with the flower bed, and then we're going to start with the new half plot and then do the full plot where we have so many things to show you. Okay, so flower bed, everything other than that one sunflower in the middle. So we had 3 sunflowers and that one in the middle seems to have been sat on and broken. But everything else seems to be okay. And these Ami majors, all of them are getting to that point of throwing up their flower stems. The Cerinthian are doing fab, the asters are great. And we have so many poppy seedlings. So many. Now, I know I said I wanted lots of poppies, but what I'm thinking is I'm just going to leave them, because if I weed them out if I thin them out, then I might take out like a really fancy one that's really nice. So I'm just going to leave them, and it's going to be survival of the fittest. I hope they do okay, but regardless, we're going to have a lot of poppies this year. Okay, Roo's friend's here, so I've got to make a conscious effort not to get other kids in the video now. So, the half plot that we took on in late March? I think it was late March. Potatoes are coming up nicely. They need to be earthed back up. This side of the plot, nothing has really changed yet. The parsley that we had is going to flower, and they are the most beautiful flowers. I think I might cut those and dry them. And we also have a whole bunch of ornamental poppies that have self-seeded and looking really beautiful. I'm going to leave those poppies and the parsley for now because I really like those flowers, and I just think they're beautiful. And right now I don't think we're going to get round to finishing that ground. So looking down this plot, nothing much has changed at all. The greenhouse is still undercover, ready to be painted. The pond still hasn't been filled in, but the borage, you're doing well, aren't you? You pretty little thing. So what the plan is for this area at the moment, now this is the greenhouse and we're supposed to get this up and we're supposed to have tomatoes in here. Now what I've said to Beardy Dude is just, you know, just let that go. Let's get this area covered and ready, get the greenhouse prepared, and let's put this greenhouse up without the intention of putting tomatoes in it. And what I'm going to do is actually prepare this area for winter planting, so like for fall planting rather than summer planting. That does mean we'll have different crops in there, but that's kind of exciting in its own way. So the new half plot has potatoes, it has strawberries, and it has lots and lots of comfrey, which, as you can see, the bees are adoring right now, and I'm okay to leave that. But this space behind me, there'll be potatoes. We're going to cultivate one area, maybe a row, like a long row, to be for tomatoes, because we have a few extras that we may need to plant. And then we're not going to worry about pressure for summer planting. We're going to think about fall planting, or as in the UK we say, autumn planting. Now, the area of the plot that I'm going to show you, me and Roo spent 3 hours here today, and this area she worked so hard on. Guys, she's 7 years old and she planted today 36 tomato plants. She was in her element and it is absolutely wonderful. But let me show you the area that we were working on today. Oh. So up here, we've got like the storage area and seating area and everything here, and then that was the really big bed at the top, the one that we said had terrible soil and virtually no life in the soil. So this frame, this is going to be for beans and maybe squash, but if you see on this side, it has no bars here. And we want to do what one of you suggested, I still don't remember your name, I'm sorry, to make that like a little hideout so that Roo can crawl in there and have that as her den. I think that would be really cute. How are you wearing that shirt? Are you not hot?
Why?
Beardy Dude lives in this shirt, don't you?
Yes.
He lives in that shirt. I mean, not lives, not doesn't like sleep in it and bathe in it and stuff.
Do. Shower in it.
But he doesn't, no. But you don't need to wear it, it's not that cold. In fact, it's about 20 degrees right now, guys. Why is it being cold? Why? Anyway, back to the tour. So we've got some celery plants down here. They seem to be doing really well. They've really picked up since we planted them. I'm really impressed. And then these celeriac aren't doing badly, but I hear that what I need to do is like strip off these bottom few leaves because that encourages the bulb to swell. Let me show you another one. Like so. Never grown celeriac before, couldn't say if that is true or false. But if that's what I'm told I need to do to grow good celeriac, that is what I shall do. So something else that we've done up here is planted a whole lot of tomatoes. Beardy Dude had done a thing. We did rotivate the row where they were to be planted, but we didn't do it deeply. We just literally done over the top so that we could break the soil and then dig down with the spade to plant the tomato a bit deeper than the stem depth. I'll show you how I plant tomatoes. I'm going to do a video of that which will explain that. But we didn't till it deeply, but we did need to break the surface up because it was just rock solid. This end of the plot has very little organic matter added to it for the God knows how many years, and there is very little life in the soil as well, so it's a project that we need to do on an ongoing basis. But for now we have all of these. There's all of these were the first lot in, and these looked so sickly and yellow when we first planted them, and now they are gorgeous green colour. They look lovely. And then we've got Mr. Blackbird had a thing to say about that, but now we've got 5 rows of 8. So 5 rows of 8 tomatoes. These ones were put in today. Some of them, like this brandy boy, the leaves are very yellow. He really needed a feed, didn't you, dude? I'm sorry. Some of them are a bit yellow, but as you can see from over there, once they're in a couple of days with the feed that we give them and with eggshells underneath them, they are doing okay. Ooh. These beds here haven't changed yet because our courgettes and squashes are not ready to plant. This bed, we do have the peas ready to put in this. I need to put this support, you can see laying down, that needs to go erected up on the other side. The peas are ready to go in, but as of yet I've not done it. And down here our asparagus is going to seed, which is fine. And then I'll probably put a couple of tomatoes in here too. The pot bed, what I've done with this right now is we have our pineapple mint, strawberry planter, Vietnamese coriander, and then our bird bath. And then I've planted some amaranth, some helichrysum and some rudbeckia, and over there are some crocosmia. and for now it is going to be a mixture of annuals, perennials and pots. I think that will give us a nice display for this summer, and also food that we can pick and eat as well. So it's floral, good for the bees and good for us too. Now this bed here, our coriander, the coriander seeds haven't germinated brilliantly. To be honest, in our homegrown veg garden at home, we have a bed where we had coriander 2 years ago, and then we let it self-seed, and then last year we had the self-seeded plants, and this year we still have self-seeded plants coming up, and there are a lot. And to be honest, there is much more coriander in our self-seeded bed than there is in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to transplant some of those, because what we are growing in that bed is predominantly carrots, and I don't want to disturb the carrot roots, so I'm going to pick them out now if I can. If I can't, I will just pinch off the plants. But I'm going to do a video about our home flower beds and veg beds later this week, hopefully. Yeah, that's the shallots bed. I think it is absolutely fair to say that when you don't cover anything from the allium moth here, they just get devoured. They are destroyed. The garlic are looking fab. Some of the pak choi have survived in here. If you remember our pak choi experiment for a couple of videos ago, they're not doing as well as the ones at home, but they don't really have flea beetle damage. They just have general like slug snail damage. There's one here too, but then you've got ones like this which have definitely been munched, and that one there. The garlic is starting to get a point. We haven't had, this one's got a scape on it, but we haven't had many with scapes at all. They're starting to look like they're dying back. Oh my gosh, let's have a look, let's have a look. This is my first look at the garlic. Well, it's not huge, but it's not bad. Let's cover that back up. Give that another month and we'll have a good garlic crop. So we are at the carrot bed where Roo and I did our planting experiment. So it would seem that if you ever say none of our crops ever get eaten by slugs, we don't have slug problems, we do okay. We encourage natural predators and slugs don't eat our crops. Do you know what's going to happen the next day? They're going to eat all your crops. And they ate all of our big sweet candle carrots. So down here we had a good sturdy row of Roos, and then we had a good sturdy row of mine. You can see a few bits left here and there, and I think a couple of Roos are springing back, but basically the slugs ate them. Don't ever say that nothing ever happens to us, because you can guarantee within 24 hours. This end of the bed we have planted a whole load of beetroot in. Replanted it all yesterday. She was very good. She did loads of drills and she planted it all in. I am determined to have more beetroot than I can possibly eat this year. I really need beetroot to store and to pickle and to freeze and to eat fresh, and I never have enough beetroot. I know that we're saying that we need to be self-sufficient in tomatoes, but beetroot is the one personal one I think that I probably haven't mentioned before, but I've realised since growing and planting that it's something that's really important to me. Hey girls. Hello. So we're at rhubarb. I just need to squeeze through this bed, which is for tomatoes. We have begun to plant. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 allium paste in here, and we've begun to turn it so that the manure that was on the top goes into the soil, and those ones in the pots up there will be going in here. These ones are going more green now. I am concerned that the ones in pots are going yellow, but they'll be fine. I know that a couple of days in the ground and they'll be okay. This is our raspberry bed. They are doing okay. This is the ones of the raspberries that we transplanted from the other plot with the gooseberry that we brought and the currants that we brought. So the other day I was sat down here and I was weeding, and I put my hand down and I'd been weeding through a raspberry patch that had thorny raspberries and my hands were a bit scratched. Put my hand down, a couple of minutes later, it's like my hand feels like it's on fire. I looked down and it was literally absolutely covered in red ants, and a number of them decided to bite me or sting me or whatever. But my hand was not happy and it hurt like hell. So we are at the other raspberry bed, and these have done really, really well. The bees have been loving these raspberry plants. These are summer raspberries. See? So these have really filled out and they're doing great, and the herb patch has really filled out. And what I'm really loving is the seed pods on this woad. They are just beautiful. The feverfew is about to come into flower, but I don't know about you guys, but I have really found that black fly aphids have been a real problem this year on things that I've never had a problem with before. This plant, somebody asked me in the comments what is it, and it's called Centura. It is a beautiful, beautiful plant. It does self-seed a lot. It can be a little bit invasive, but they are very easy to dig up and move. But the bees love it. It's really, really pretty, and it's called Centura. The thyme that we transplanted has greened up and it is now flowering, and that's the first year in many years that it's flowered, which means it's happy. The mint is doing well. In fact, everything's doing well in here. We even have a foxglove about to flower. This bed has been super busy. Under here, somebody recommended to trim off the top of our broccoli rabe and they will produce new florets, and they are actually doing that, which is lovely. The cauliflowers are doing well, and these are golden acre heirloom cabbages, which apparently run from, I think it's 65 days from planting, so we should have them quite soon. Then we have the forest. Now, I have been purposefully delaying pinching out the top of these broad beans, but now they're looking quite humongous. They're huge. I'm not going to do anything with them tonight. They can just keep on growing. So on this side of me, we have our apple tree. This is one that we planted. We have done a lot of purposeful weeding underneath all of these trees, because sometimes on areas that you don't cultivate often, somewhere that you maybe don't have to go and plant and crop from all the time with perennial crops, the weeds can become out of hand. So I'm really consciously trying to keep on top of that. I have found this lovely little fern and I do want to transplant it and keep it somewhere like precious. Put it under a shade a little bit and keep it safe. Now, I and the Beardy Dude absolutely adore ferns, so it'll be nice to look after this and keep it safe. There's a less spotted Beardy Dude. So here, the apple trees are looking rather grand. They have lots of fruit on them. I'm expecting that a lot of this will drop in June with June drop, and I may have to thin it out a little further so that what crops we get are good, healthy apples. All of them have lovely, lovely apples growing. That one that didn't seem to have many blossoms has lovely large fruits. You see? So it'll be interesting to find out how they turn out now. Now down here, this looks a bit sorry for itself, but I promise it's for a purpose. Well, this is our radish plant that we have saved to go to seed. But pigeons have been sitting on it. They haven't been eating it, they've just been sitting on it. Now, it is sprouting back and coming back up again, and it is still going to flower, so that's fine. And we have a big patch here that is still going to flower. Can I come past Mr. Radish? Ooh. Thank you very much. So this is our white icicle radish, which is my favourite radish. And I am keeping the seeds as part of our like promise to ourselves for 2019, that I wanted to save more seed and therefore not having to spend money on seeds for the future, but also those seeds that we save, they will gradually become more and more acclimatised to the area and environment that we're growing them in and produce better crops. And also radish seed pods are absolutely delicious. Really spicy. If you like spicy, but like not a like longevity spice like a chilli, but still like hot, then let a radish go to seed and eat the seed pods. Very, very nice. This is a new area for you guys. This is 11 sprout plants and some greyhound cabbage that we've put in here. They have just loosely been covered with this net just to keep the pigeons off for now. I'm not worried about the cabbage butterfly just yet, but they seem to be doing just fine. Really healthy plants, so I'm happy with them. And so far to here, everything is looking good. This is our currant bushes. Yeah. So I've said it before, but I don't like to net fruits. Now this is a red currant, and the fruits are just starting to ripen, but the pigeons have already stripped. Within 24 hours, I swear, they stripped 50% of the fruit that was on there. So what I've done is I've covered it for now so that we can get the fruit to ripen, and then we will take a bit and then we'll uncover it and the pigeons can have the rest. So I have no problem with the pigeons having this fruit at all, but just having a little bit ripen would be nice. I was warned by a plot holder who actually planted this that the pigeons will strip it as the early red currant variety, but they're not interested in the late red currant variety, and this variety is called Red Lake. So I thought, yeah, you'll be fine, you know, I don't mind them having a bit, but no, they really are going for it right now. So once the fruit starts to ripen fully, then we will take that off, we will harvest a bit for ourselves and leave the rest for the pigeons. If they like it that much, they can have some. No problem with that. The onions are doing really, really well. Look at this beast. Fantastic. I think that this Enviromesh is working for now. At the moment, this is the best onion crop that we've had. Whether that is because of the Enviromesh, because of this environment, because of when I planted them, because of this, that and the other, I do not know. But right now, it seems the Enviromesh is working. And these onions are quite sizable, so I'm happy with that. This area here is due to be hoed and prepared to put all of our dwarf beans in. If we go down this path, that is all for tomatoes that are going to be planted up in the next day or so. There's a path there, that is for more salad crops. The lettuces down here are doing amazing. They are so, so beautiful. And they taste amazing too. And the spring onions or scallions are almost ready to harvest as well. That part of the bed behind it is due to have more lettuces in, because we can never have too many salad crops, guys. These turnips, they look terribly, terribly flea beetle ridden, but we don't eat the leaves of turnips. I'm not a fan of them, to be honest, so I'm not worried. But down here we can see they are producing nice little bulbs now. There's more lettuces interplanted down here. These ones are little gem and they're starting to form their hearts, which is lovely. And the beetroot is starting to form finally too. And there's more lettuce there. There's more beetroot seeding down here, and then these are the chard that we planted. They're actually doing really well. Now those 3 rows there, that is where we put the beetroot seeds in the other day, so I was saying I'm not expecting to see anything. Look at this. Look, here here. That looks like a Rake cucumber of some sort, but here, here, here. Now that has surprised me. I did not expect. Can you even see me? I'm in a weird place at the moment for light, so I'm sorry. But I did not expect to see beetroot seedlings coming through so fast, so that's a really nice surprise. We do have space down here to plant the seedlings of beetroot that we have in modules that I'll show you in a bit. I will have all the beetroot this year, as well as all the tomatoes and all the brassicas and all the onions and all the carrots and all the other things. I will have all the beetroot. So down here, these are tomatoes that Roo has planted today, and these are all, along with the ones along this edge, we're close to the greenhouse, so this is around our sitting area. And the idea is that all of these are either the ones that we really don't want picking by somebody, or they're ones that once we walk along this path, they can be just picked and munched and enjoyed as we walk past. So they're all small, beautiful, tasty varieties. This bed here is all prepared and ready for chickpeas, and we're going to plant those in the next couple of days. On this side of the path, this is all prepared and ready for the squash and corn. But the corn at the moment, I didn't show you those, did I? Let's go back. The corn at the moment are still quite small, so they won't be going out just yet. I'm going to put these on, get them into bigger pots. But this will be for the dwarf beans. The bean arch we will finish this weekend. Then we've got the corn and squashes, tomatoes down this edge, potatoes in pots there, and these are some of the tomatoes that are left for us to sell. We need to get those home tonight. What have we got left? Some bits and bobs on the table, just some more tomatoes, some cosmos, a sunflower to replace the one that got snapped. This is our aubergine that we brought outside the other day because it had woolly aphid on it. There's some more beans here. These are some of our second lot of celery. Some more beans. The chard is still there, guys. These beetroot I'm going to put out this weekend. More red cabbage. This is my one and only Malacot box tomato. You better produce night tomatoes, mister. I'm counting on you to be delicious. The zinnias are now outside. The red noodle beans have done well. The cocoa Sophie have done well. I'm looking forward to planting all those out soon. Some more tomatoes for sale down there. These are what's left of our Amish paste that we need to plant. On this stand we have another sowing of spring onions. And guys, if you see these weird little creatures, you must think that they are enemies, but they are not. These are ladybird larvae, and these little beauties will transform into ladybirds and they will eat your aphids, and they are your best friend in the garden, so please do look after them, don't squish them. They may look like this at one point. See? Please don't kill the ladybird larvae. We need as many ladybirds as we can get, and the problem is with common use of pesticides and herbicides, things like the ladybird are really in decline, and it's very sad. We need them in the garden. They are our best friend. We need a diverse ecosystem where we don't wipe something out just because we don't like it. We've got more brassicas down here. These are our Sicily purple cabbages. No, cauliflowers, not cabbages. These are cauliflower all year round, our next lot to go in. Some more brassicas, and these are our peas. We sow them in a big trough like this and break it up and plant them. So here we are, we're in the greenhouse, and so let's have a look around here, and after this I'll let you go. We have a squash plant here. This is Chigua. This was outside randomly, I don't know why. The cucumbers that we planted do seem to be putting on new growth. These are the ones that we sown in February. But my conclusion is it isn't worth sowing them too early, because they just seem to get really leggy and get flowers but not do much else. Saying that, I may take that back. If you go and look at Kelly's kitchen garden and her indoor homegrown cucumbers, she's setting us all goals, guys. You need to go check it out to understand what I'm talking about. But indoor cucumbers can now become a thing. peppers are doing fantastically here. These squashes are getting to the point where they can be planted out very soon. Cucumbers are looking grand. This one festival squash has a little bit of yellowing, so I think that needs a feed, so I'll sort that out. The okra need separating and planting on now. Lots of squashes over there. These are our butternut squash that finally came up, and now they're in the individual pots. These are yellow courgettes. This second planting of festival squash never came to anything. I've planted 4 new pots of 4 Market More cucumbers, and these aren't all for me, but I'll reveal that in the future. Lots more peppers around here that are all doing fab. I need to separate those 2 courgettes, and then there is another one finally coming up. That the basil is looking, and oh my gosh, it smells and tastes amazing. And look at this, we have our first pepper, very first pepper. That basil's actually a little bit, it's got a bit of a kick. Never had basil like that. More peppers. That, sorry, is a Pretty and Sweet. That's your little lunchbox ones. More peppers there. So that is our May plot tour. I think it may have gone on a little bit longer than our usual one, but there's so much to show you at the moment. There's so much going on. We have lots of plans and things to do in the next few days, in the next month, but life also has like all of our free time already booked up, so it's going to be interesting to see how all of this fits in. But we also go away on holiday in 2 weeks. I mean, whoever thought going away on holiday in June was a good idea? I thought everything would be in the ground and everything would be fine by then, and then our house sitters and our plot sitters, they could deal with everything, it'll be okay. We have a lot of work to do. So thank you for watching. This is Jazz at Alternative Smallholding. Beardy Dude finally took that padded hot shirt off. This is our May tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, please ask us in the comments below. And we hope that your plots, your gardens, your small holdings, your homesteads, your balcony, your windowsill, they're all doing great and fulfilling your expectations. Take care. We'll see you soon, and grow all the things. Bye bye.